Hey football fans, I'm Matt. I'm joined by my friend Johnny, and we're here to keep you guys updated on everything NFL related, from scores to predictions. This is the Third and Long podcast on KCAT Radio. Welcome into the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is shining. We are into the heart of the NFL season. I'm excited for what we have coming up here. Unfortunately, some sad news. Johnny is sick today, so actually, we're bringing on a guest today. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Excited to be here?
Yeah.
Good. You excited to talk about some football?
Of course. I love football.
Who doesn't love football?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great season. We're starting off with our Thursday night game. Bengals Dolphins 27-15.
I feel like obviously with the Tua news after he got another concussion, he was probably rushed back. The Dolphins seem pretty good. Even Bridgewater's probably one of the best backups in the league, but I feel like their future's still okay.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. I think the future is a little in question, but it's a good point. It's why you have a good backup quarterback.
Exactly.
Bridgewater does have the opportunity to take them far. Give me another game.
I think Bucks Chiefs is a good one to touch on. That was the Sunday Night Football matchup. Chiefs look really dominant, especially, the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. It looks amazing.
I'm a little shocked. 41-31. I expected both defenses to be better.
Yeah, especially the Bucks defense. They definitely seem to struggle.
Yeah, I don't expect anything over 40 points. At the start of the season, I didn't expect anything over 40, so I'm a little concerned. It definitely puts a little bit into question. They're 2-2 now in a horrible division, so hopefully they bounce back from that. Packers Patriots 27-24 in overtime. I might add. I don't know what happened to the Packers.
The Packers had plenty of opportunities to win that game. Yeah. Third string quarterback in the game. You have to take advantage. And they eventually got there, but it was still a little bit shocking. Devontae Adams is gone. Aaron Rodgers is going to struggle sometimes.
I want to pick your brain a little bit, though. Just really quick. Do you think Belichick has kind of redeemed himself from the last couple seasons with this game? I don't know if it's with this game in particular, but this was a great defensive showing from the Patriots. The Packers could have put up way more points.
For sure. I think Belichick, he always schemes very well against other teams. So I think he did a great job trying to bottle Aaron Rodgers, and it seems like it worked out. Not in the long run, but their defense got it done.
Yeah, I like it. Let's rattle through some games real quick. Panthers Cardinals 26-16. I expect the Cardinals to win that.
Yeah, so did I. Panthers offense looks atrocious with Baker Mayfield, even with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It just has to get better for them.
All right. Browns Falcons. Falcons take it 23-20. How do you feel about that?
So, the Falcons' passing game was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then they started to run the ball, and they had more success there. But I feel like the Browns should have won that game. Amari Cooper only had one catch. A.J. Terrell did a great job in coverage there. So,
I like it a lot. Eagles beat the Jags 29-21.
A little closer than I would have thought. The Eagles are still undefeated, but Jalen Hurts has shown he's probably one of the front runners for MVP. So
I love it. Jags get shut out in the second and third.
They were off to a really strong start.
Yeah.
It was a wet game, and it was mostly on the ground. But while watching, I was a little bit shocked that the Jags got off to such a quick start. A turnover early, but the Eagles were able to bounce back in the second quarter, especially.
That's a great point. Raiders Broncos. I'm sad. I'm going to talk about this game because I'm going to be depressed about it, and I need to get my feelings out on this podcast because this is my therapy for the Broncos season. 32-23. How? I don't understand where our defense is. I don't understand where our defense is in the middle of the field, too. Within the 20, we've been okay.
Yeah, the defense has been okay, but the main concern is definitely Russ. You're seeing some not good signs.
Yeah.
You have the receivers there. Javonte Williams is a huge blow with the season-ending ACL injury. So Melvin Gordon's going to have a step up. He's fumbled a lot this season. So
I don't want to talk about the Melvin Gordon fumbles.
Yeah.
They make me sad. I have this jersey on the table, and I want him to do better. He's not in the organization much anymore. He still helps here and there. But, Nathaniel Hackett is boiling hot as far as his seat, and I'd like to leave it at that. We play the Colts next week. If we can't seem to do something with that, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. Cowboys Commanders. Cowboys beat Washington 25-10. That's expected.
Yeah, but Cooper Rush has been surprisingly good.
When Dak comes back, do you play him?
See, this is where I don't know. I think you have to play Dak, but if things aren't going well with Dak and you can see that he's struggling, I think you really have to consider Cooper Rush as starting if Dak is not playing well at all.
I got to agree. I think it comes down to more of a dynamic starting quarterback role, and I think we're going to see it in some other in Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah.
I like that we're seeing it kind of across the league right now. Jets Steelers. Speaking of Pittsburgh, the Jets beat the Steelers 24-20.
I think when you change quarterbacks mid-game, you're going to have some kind of struggle because the communication's there. But
of course,
even though Kenny Pickett threw a few interceptions, he still looked really promising. He was taking shots down the field to Claypool and Pickens. Pickens looked really good in this game as well. So I think things are going up for the Steelers, even though they lost to the Jets. I mean, the Jets, in my opinion, aren't a bad team at all.
I liked this game. I liked how dynamic it looked. The Steelers look promising while having their troubles here and there. I like that the receiving core has spoken out and said we have confidence in our young quarterback as well as Trubisky. I think Tomlin knows what he's doing. It'll be good to see how it shakes out. Titans beat the Colts 24-17.
Yeah, this season I think the main struggle for the Colts is trying to get Jonathan Taylor opportunities. He's been, like, yards per carry wise, he's been really roughed up. Like, he's not been nearly as efficient as he was last season, and I feel like the Colts need to get to him and Pittman to be successful. But the Titans, with Derrick Henry, I mean, if he plays well, they're going to win. If he doesn't, they're going to lose. That's basically it. They have no receivers. Treylon Burks out for the season. So, yeah.
I mean, that's all that's got to be said about it. That was fantastic. Giants Bears 20-12. That's a toilet bowl. I hate both these teams. Danny Dimes is not as good as everyone thinks. Justin Fields disappoints me on a daily basis. I really have minimal to say about this besides the fact that I think both those teams will be 1-4 in the draft order at the end of the season. I'm disappointed.
I mean, the Giants are off to a strong start, but I mean, you can't really do much. I mean, Saquon has shown signs of being amazing, but I mean, you can't just have one star player and expect your team to be good.
Yeah, look at the Titans, for example.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry cannot be your only weapon.
Exactly.
When they had A.J. Brown last season, Tannehill had someone to throw to, and now it seems to just be going down the hill. I think the Giants are the exact same way. Chargers Texans 34-24.
I think a little bit more of a higher scoring game than I thought. The Chargers looked okay. They got Mike Williams the ball. They got Gerald Everett the ball. So they looked pretty good. I mean, I don't know how much Herbert's still struggling from that rib injury. But, I mean, the Chargers look pretty good. Texans, a little bit better than I thought.
I mean, a win's a win, right?
Exactly.
The Chargers are going to pull it out. I think the Texans look better than I thought, but not good enough to beat the Chargers. It's kind of curious. If they could play this type of game later with a little bit kind of less of the Chargers' defensive mistakes, I think it comes down from a 24 to like maybe a 14 to 20 game as far as the Texans scoreline. But bad look for the Chargers, better look for the Texans, but a win's a win for the Chargers. Congratulations. In a tough division, they got to get all the wins they can. Vikings Saints. Vikings pull it out 28-25.
To be honest, I was not up at 6 a.m. to watch this game.
Neither was I.
But I saw the double doink for the Saints to miss it at the end. Alvin Kamara's injury status is still kind of uncertain.
I think this game is a little too close for my liking. Granted, it's London. There's a lot of variables there. I'm not upset. But I think this game got a little too close for thinking the Vikings are a playoff team. I don't love the Saints, but Jameis Winston did not play bad.
I don't think he played bad at all. And then on the Vikings side, Justin Jefferson got the ball a lot more this week than last week.
Sure.
And that definitely, I think, helped them get a victory.
All right, Ryan, these are my last 3 games of last week. It's my most exciting 3 games. I'm excited to cover them. Let's get into them a little more. 49ers beat the Rams 24-9.
Monday night.
So hold on real quick. Do you think this game was less of a scorecard? Do you think the Rams played better than the score will show? It's a better way to put it.
Yes and no.
Okay, give me an explanation.
Matthew Stafford's fourth quarter was about the most atrocious I've seen him play.
He lost me by a week. I'm really upset about that.
Yeah, pick 6, and then another turnover at the end of the game. I mean, you just can't. Statistically, he's been really good in the fourth quarter, but you just can't do that if you're trying to win a game. Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee had some insane amount of targets and catches. 49ers look really good defensively. And when you get Deebo Samuel the ball in space, I mean, he can just do.
I liked it. I actually really liked it. 49ers look promising, especially after the Broncos. I like their season.
I think
let's see how it plays out. They have a couple more division matchups later in the year. I think it's going to be cool to see. Lions Seahawks.
One of the highest scoring games I've seen in a long time, and
I'm surprised. 48-45. I'm very confused as to where their team's defenses were and also how good their offenses were. The Lions' offense looked fantastic.
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, the Lions' defense, in my opinion, is really, really bad.
Yeah.
But the Lions' offense really surprised me with no DeAndre Swift, no Amon-Ra St. Brown. They really stepped it up, and no DJ Chark as well. So Josh Reynolds stepped it up, especially TJ Hawkinson. Big game for him.
Yeah.
And same with Williams as well.
I was happy. Our last game this week is my favorite of the week. I love both these teams. On a prior episode, we talked about both of their starting quarterbacks being MVP frontrunners in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Bills beat the Ravens 23-20 in a stellar of a game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ravens were out to a pretty decent-sized lead in the first half, and they just, I feel like, kind of blew it. 0 second half points, which you just can't do that against the Bills with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I mean, it just can't happen. The Bills are such a dynamic offense, like one of the best we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So
I was quite happy with the Bills. I think Josh Allen showed a lot of like spunk in the last. He showed a lot of grit in the last half. I'm really happy with this game. And Week 4 as a whole was interesting. I think we have a lot of topics to cover. I think we have a lot of things to sort of think through before our game on Thursday, and I think it's going to be definitely pretty interesting. With that, we conclude our recap section. We're going to move into some hot takes, some opinionated sections. I'm excited to see Ryan's differing opinion as compared to Johnny and myself. So these are our first time reading these hot takes given to us by our producers. Let's start with the first one. The Texans will be winless this season.
I very strongly disagree. I see very good potential in Dameon Pierce and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I still believe in the quarterback. What's his name?
That's funny that you can't remember it. Mills.
Yeah, Davis Mills. Yeah. I think he's shown great signs of...
I think it's interesting. He's one of those guys where I'm glad he's getting his NFL chance. Do I think he'll be like a Super Bowl winning starter? No. But he's making do with what he has, and he's trying his best to kind of sum up what he can do. I don't think they'll be winless. I think their win total will be low, but I think they'll manage to scratch out one. They got it, right?
Yeah,
they got to scratch out one.
Well said. I think even a few wins is in the realm of opportunities there.
I agree. Give me another hot take.
So Lions deserve a better record than 1-3.
Completely agree. It's the same thing as last season where their performance doesn't match their record, and you kind of have to look and go, where did it go wrong? I think we found it. Their defense. We found where it went wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a stat where the Lions have scored the most points in the league per game.
Yeah, they have, and they're also giving up the most points in the league, and it's kind of sad.
So yeah, I definitely think their offense is looking really, really good.
Completely.
So yeah, I think they definitely deserve better than that.
Yeah. Let's get another one. Melvin Gordon needs to retire. As a Broncos fan, I feel so conflicted. So I want to hear your opinion first.
Well, he can't right now because they would have no running back.
If he retires, we're so screwed.
So
our season's over.
I think within the next few years, he probably needs to. He looked good. I think he was on the Chargers a few seasons ago. He looked really promising, and now he just kind of looks like old and slow. So
I think he'll end up being fine. I think the fumble thing's almost like a mental thing more than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
They were using him as a power back when he has been a speed back in the past. So it's kind of like, where's his weapon right now? On the Chargers, he was a fast guy that'd fly around the field. He's a little slower now, seems a little older as he is. And it sort of feels like he needs to stop playing that and sort of just understand that got to get a little dirty, hold on to the ball, and just get through the line.
Completely agree.
But yeah, I don't know what is happening with our running backs' offensive line. Just they can't seem to connect and work.
It's been one of probably the biggest disappointments of the season, I think.
Granted, this happened last year. Everyone said, no, we have faith in Drew Lock. The Broncos will be like in the playoffs. No.
Yeah,
we're not that good.
Russ is a big upgrade in my opinion from Drew Lock, but it's looked pretty miserable.
Yeah, maybe we should have traded for Geno Smith and not given up Noah
Seriously,
Fant and like a bunch of draft picks and other stuff. Maybe. Give me another hot take.
Okay, so the Jaguars are wasting Travis Etienne. I completely disagree with that. I feel like when you have two really good running backs, especially when one's more receiving oriented, I think it's a great 1-2 punch because you can quickly sub them in and out, especially in 2-minute offense. So I think the Jaguars are actually doing something really good with those two backs.
I think they have a chance. I think it's very obvious that Doug Peterson in his scheme is kind of developing it better compared to Urban Meyer, which we all remember what happened. I think as a locker room presence, he's doing much better too. I like the Jaguars as a 3-year contender.
Yeah.
You get Trevor Lawrence in his 4th or 5th season. You say, okay, you're a veteran now. You know how to do this. You get a couple running backs a little older, a little more mature, but still young and fast. You get a better receiving core, get some offensive linemen, get some defense. Okay, now we're looking at a playoff team, if not a Super Bowl team, if they can continue to just not trip over themselves.
Yeah, and Christian Kirk has shown some great signs of being amazing.
Yeah,
this year.
completely. I like the Jaguars. Another team I'm seemingly like, or more of a player, Cooper Rush. The Cowboys should continue to start Cooper Rush until he loses. Agree or disagree?
As a Cowboys fan, I feel like...
Ew. We brought a Cowboys fan on? Why did we do this?
I mean, just a slight Cowboys fan.
Sure.
When you have Dak Prescott, I mean, in my opinion, top 10 quarterback in the league, when he's healthy, you have to start him. But if he continues to struggle, I think you have to consider Cooper Rush given how he's performed with what has been given to him.
I'm going to move past the top 10 quarterback in the league, which I disagree with.
Okay.
And we're not going to talk about it.
All right.
We'll probably argue about this later.
All right.
Or in a comment section somewhere. I think you have to leave him in. It's the same thing with Jacoby Brissett and Deshaun Watson. I think if a quarterback is successful, maybe not Brissett given the slight decline in the Browns, but if you're successful at an NFL level, let him ride. What's the problem if you get halfway through a quarter and say, Dak, we need you to come in? Sure, you may lose the game. You're showing something different. Cooper Rush has played better than Dak did at the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the schedule has been a little bit easier, but I do agree. But I feel like if you have you want to make sure he's completely healthy, not rushing him, because, I mean, obviously Cooper Rush has been spectacular.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like you got to start Dak. He has the arm strength. I just feel like he's got more of everything.
It's going to be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And with that, I like our hot takes for this week. I like hearing your opinion. It's been a little refreshing, a little different. I don't know if I like the Cowboys, but I'll leave it at that. Up next, we've picked some games we're going to talk about. You have your sheet in front of you. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the games. I'm going to give some scores. You're going to tell me I'm wrong and I'm crazy. You're going to say you agree.
Sounds good.
Let's start it off.
So we got Eagles at Arizona.
I have the Eagles winning in a higher point game. I have 24-20 next week. So this is going to be week 5, Eagles at Arizona. I have the Eagles winning 24-20.
I have the Eagles winning as well.
Okay. Thank you.
But I think Arizona has not shown that it has a successful offense with Kyler Murray.
Okay.
It's been, in my opinion, really bad. And I feel like it's going to be more towards a blowout than a close game.
Fair enough. We'll see how it goes. I might shoot you an Insta DM and
all right,
call you crazy.
We'll see.
Dolphins at Jets. I have the Dolphins losing to the Jets 17-20. Because of Tua being out, I don't love Bridgewater a ton. I like what the Jets are doing. I like the momentum. So I'm having them win 20-17. People are going to call me crazy for this in the comments.
This is where I disagree with you. I think Bridgewater, like in the second half of last game, showed some really good signs of being like a decent quarterback. And the Jets, I mean, even though the Jets are looking actually pretty decent, I still think Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, I mean, even Chase Edmonds have looked really good this season.
Fair enough. I don't dislike the Dolphins. I know Johnny's going to come on here and tell me I'm crazy after this, but I think it'll definitely be interesting to see how it goes. Let's go to Raiders at the Chiefs. I didn't give an exact score for this. So let me hear your opinion first on who wins.
Okay.
I'll cover mine and see what you got.
I think the Chiefs win relatively easy here. The Raiders have not been able to get Devontae Adams as involved as I think they want to.
I agree.
I mean, Josh Jacobs has shown some good signs, but I feel like the Raiders' defense has not shown anything good.
My projection is the Raiders will score under or about 10. The Chiefs will score over 20.
Yeah, I feel like maybe give both teams a little bit more. I feel like it'll be a little bit more high scoring. But
I like the Chiefs defense. I think they're sneaky good.
Me too, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to get out early and the Raiders are going to be passing a lot. Maybe they break a big play or something like that and just drive up the score.
Fair enough. I think it'll be a first half game.
Yeah.
I think Patrick Mahomes will kind of carry his life and blood into the second half. I don't know if Derek Carr will. I don't know if the Raiders offense will. So we'll have to see how it goes. And for our last game, give it to me, Ryan.
Bengals at Ravens.
I think this is an easy pick.
I do too.
Okay.
I think Lamar Jackson has, proved that he's an MVP frontrunner. I mean, last week he showed a little bit of a decline, but I think he'll have a good bounce back game here.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year, they've shown their struggles. I mean, I feel like they're kind of getting on pace a little bit more now with Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins. But I feel like, especially with J.K. Dobbins back, the run game for the Ravens, like J.K. Dobbins plus Lamar Jackson, is really going to hurt.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I have the Bengals getting 14 because I don't love the Ravens defense. I have the Ravens getting 28 plus.
Yeah.
Out of that, I think that's the easiest pick of the week.
Yeah, I agree.
I am very excited for week 5, excuse me. I think it's going to be a great week. I enjoyed having you on the podcast. I thought it was a really fun week. I liked week 4. I liked your opinions on week 4. We're going to move into week 5. It's going to be a great week of football. With that being said, my name is Matt. Over there, that's Ryan. Thank you for being our guest on the show today. And thank you guys for watching the Third and Long podcast on KCAT Radio.